Hey guys, my name is Shrish. So a month back, Redmi launched its Redmi Note 9 Pro and Note 9 Pro Max, and these phones actually received quite a lot of appreciation from a lot of tech reviewers. Note 9 Pro Max, especially, it did receive some sort of criticism as well, regarding the phone not having a high refresh rate display. But overall, the phone was a pretty good one. It was not something extraordinary, but for a price of 15,000 rupees, a lot of people liked it. A lot of people were going to buy it. But then lockdown arrived, and now after a month, we are still in the lockdown. And after a month, this phone's hype has kind of disappeared. The phone, in fact, has disappeared quite a lot. No one really talks about it. No one is going to buy it, as far as I see it. A lot of people have come up that this phone's updated prices have disappointed them quite a lot. I'll come to that later on. But a prime reason why no one really talks about this phone or there is no hype around this phone is because not a lot of reviewers got this particular phone. So there was no practical advertising regarding this phone as well, because obviously of the quarantine. But again, if we look at the phone, it has got a Snapdragon 720G. Then we have also got a 5000 milliamp hours gigantic battery. And then we also do have a Samsung 64 megapixel GW1 sensor, which is not as good as a Sony sensor, but it's still a great sensor. So the phone, if you look at it, was built around the battery life. Like, battery life is something that this phone primarily focuses on. Now, when the phone was launched, it was launched at around 15,000 rupees or roughly $200. And for that price, this phone was great. It was not something extraordinary, but it was still great, nice specs, pretty value for money. And the thing about the budget segment below 15,000 rupees is that not a lot of people are willing to go above 15,000 rupees. That's what I've noticed. A lot of my friends, when they ask me for phones below 15,000, I recommend them extending the budget and getting the Poco X2, but then they are in no position to actually extend the budget. But then I've also met a lot of people whose budget is around 16,000, 17,000 rupees. But then when I tell them to extend their budget and get something better, then they actually do that. So today, clearly, a lot of people classify the 15,000 rupees to 20,000 rupees as budget segment. But I think that this is still the mid-range segment that we used to call it like a couple of years ago. Because of a lot of rapid phone launches, it has somehow become the budget segment. But yeah, it's still mid-range segment for a lot of Indian people, for a lot of people in general. So now the question is, should you really buy the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max after the lockdown? I don't think that will be a good idea. And a prime reason for that is its pricing. Now, at the time of launch, the phone was launched at around 15,000 rupees. But after the launch, something happened. Basically, Indian government decided to raise the GST on smartphones from 12% to 18%. Also, it was discovered that these smartphone manufacturers or smartphone brands had their pre-existing problems because of the dropping value of rupee in comparison to dollar. So yeah, overall, these brands decided to hike their smartphone prices. And after this overall GST thing, the updated price for Redmi Note 9 Pro Max was 16,500 rupees. The updated price for Poco X2 was 17,000 rupees, and for Realme 6 Pro it was 18,000 rupees. Now, just as I told, once you get in the mid-range segment above 15k, people are actually willing to spend a little bit extra, like 1,000 rupees, 1,500 rupees extra to get somewhat a better product. And that's exactly what's happened with the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max. Right now, the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max doesn't really stand in the budget segment. It has moved to a budget mid-range, as they like to call it. And now its straight off goes against the Poco X2 and Realme 6 Pro and even the Realme X2. All of these phones are actually better than this particular Redmi Note 9 Pro Max. The only factor why I see anyone buying Redmi Note 9 Pro Max is the battery life. And actually speaking, things would have been much different if the price hike hadn't occurred. Redmi Note 9 Pro Max would have still been in hype right now. Or let's say if this phone came out with an AMOLED display panel, or let's say it came out with a high refresh rate display, then it would have actually made a lot of sense to buy this phone. And in fact, it would have been a first choice phone for a lot of people. Or not even just that, if we had a Sony 64 megapixel sensor, the IMX686, just like the Poco X2, instead of the Samsung sensor, I would have actually recommended this particular phone to a lot of people. In fact, I would have bought this phone primarily for its battery life and its camera. But solely buying this phone for the sake of battery life wouldn't make a lot of sense. And just in case you are wondering, the battery drain issue on the Poco X2, it has been fixed. So Poco X2 with the 4,500 milliamp hours of battery capacity also does provide you with decent battery life. Especially at 60 Hz, you're going to get through a day easily on the Poco X2 as well. So yeah, because of the updated prices, it kind of makes it really difficult to recommend this phone to anyone out there. In fact, I personally thank all of you, those who had voted in the poll that I had posted in the community tab section, basically asking whether I should buy the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max to cover reviews on. and a lot of you guys actually voted for no, and I'm thanking you guys because you saved a lot of my money. But yeah, anyways, if the price hike wouldn't have occurred, this phone would have been preferable to a lot of people, those who are not really in a position to extend their budget above 15,000 rupees. But after the updated price, I don't really see any reason why I would recommend this phone over the likes of Poco X2 or Realme 6 Pro or even Realme X2. So yeah, this was just a quick video since not a lot of people are actually talking about, and I was really running out of content as well. So that is the reason I'm making this video. I know that this wasn't a super important video out there, but yeah, I just made it, and yeah, that's how it is. With that being said, I hope this video helped you in some way or the other. If it did, be sure to leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.